All right. So I'm sitting here today with Rory Foley from Chimney Doctor. By the way, hang on before we go any further. Something I got to tell everybody, and that is Rory is also a Hollywood stuntman. And we're going to get into why I'm saying that a little later. So anybody who was listening to the roofing podcast I did last month, we talked about a couple daredevils getting up on roofs and chimneys and stuff. And this is one of the guys I was actually talking about. Yeah. And he actually was, how did you hear about it? Did you see it on Instagram or something?
I saw you on Instagram, and I saw that you're talking about.
Oh no, you saw the YouTube video.
I saw the YouTube video, but I thought I saw it through. I don't know where I saw it. I thought it was posted on Instagram, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it was on both actually.
But yeah, I saw that. And it was a really funny story, and I do remember that. That was a couple years ago, but yeah, they were like, "What are you doing up there?" And I'm like, "Inspecting the chimney." You're like, "You're crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess it's a little." Yeah, it was a very tall ladder, so.
That was a very tall ladder and a very scary roof to climb because there was literally nothing there for you to grab onto.
Yeah.
And that's what my concern was. Like, okay, I can understand putting the ladder up and climbing the ladder. I get all that. But then you climbed over, which by the way, I think your ladder was only this high above the roof. Yes. And then you climbed over it and you did the bear crawl all the way over to the fireplace.
Yeah. I take it a lot easier. Now I have a drone, so I don't
smart man. That was going to be another question for you right there.
So, on dangerous roofs or, tile roofs that I think will crack, I do the drone now so that I don't have that liability while I'm doing inspection.
Yeah. Why, turn a simple job into a liability claim? It's just it's just not worth it. But anyway, tell everybody about yourself,
Sure.
What about your company, what you offer?
Yeah. Well, my name's Rory Foley. I've been doing level 2, mostly chimney inspections for the last 10 years in the Los Angeles area. I have a company called Chimney Doctor. I also have another inspector that I'm training right now, but right now I'm by myself. And actually, the company was started years ago in the 90s by a guy named Mike Lowe. So the company.
I met Mike a long time ago.
Yeah. So he sometimes comes around and does inspections, but he's mostly retired. But now, I just been doing inspections full time for the last 10 years. My dad actually, there was an earthquake in the 1994 in Northridge, and a lot of chimneys were damaged at the time. And actually, my dad did a lot. He was a contractor, local contractor, and he did a lot of those rebuilds.
Okay, wow.
Or he ran the crews doing that. So I come from
You mean the chimney rebuilds?
The chimney rebuilds, in the 94 earthquake. So, I used to do construction with my father, and so I come from a construction family. But I kind of got into it because the construction background, and then people I know were home inspectors, and then one of them had a chimney inspection company. So he taught me a lot of inspecting because it's different than doing.
Yeah, inspecting is a lot easier than carrying the bricks, right?
It's a lot easier, but you have to know more things than just being you need to know a lot of different things about a lot of different systems. So So
and that'll segue us right into another question for you, which I want the people listening, whether you people listening are just home buyers or home inspectors. So correct me if I'm wrong, because I do say the wrong thing on occasion.
Yeah, no, okay.
I misspeak sometimes. So am I correct by saying that in California, you need to be a licensed contractor to do chimney inspections?
Actually, no, you don't need to be a licensed contractor to do chimney inspections, but there are a lot of licensed contractors that do that. Mm-hmm. You can get, you could learn from a licensed contractor and do them yourselves, but you can get certifications. There's the fire certification. Okay. And there's...
So is that mandatory is what I'm asking?
No, there is no mandatory. It is not mandatory to get any certification. Like a home inspector usually needs to be CREA.
No, that's not required.
It's not required. Oh, okay. Or not. Well, they do have certications.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I don't know as much, but it is good to have somebody who, knows all the different systems. I would trust if I was hiring a chimney inspector, I would trust somebody who that's all they do and they're very familiar with all the systems.
Sure.
Or a contractor usually. The thing about contractors is that they are usually selling the work too. So they have an incentive for that. But there are some...
A little bit biased there.
A little bit biased, yeah. And sometimes they may recommend something that's like the Cadillac of something than what is... You
mean what? I could have got the Volkswagen.
Yeah, you know what I mean. They will recommend something that is probably good, but may not be necessarily needed. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So, and there are good contractors out there, and then there's I'm not going to name names, but there are some really not good chimney contractors.
You mean shitty contractors?
Yes.
Just go ahead and say it, man. Let it out.
There are some like you're a home inspector. You'll see stuff and you're just like blown out of your mind, like what you see that on work, and you're like, some of it's dangerous, and you're like, what? So it's pretty shocking sometimes. I've seen some. Maybe we could go over some horror stories, but
we're gonna go over some horror stories.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But let's slow down a little bit and go and stay on top of the. I want to know. Yeah. I want you to share with me and everybody else. What goes through your head when you see like the worst fucking job? You're staring at the worst job that you've just inspected. Going, are you like just scratching your head? Are you trying to share your thoughts with somebody else? I mean, what's going through your mind when you see something like that?
Usually I'm like, well, in a way, I'm like shocked or surprised, and sometimes it breaks the monotony of doing inspections all the time. Just you do the same thing over and over.
Sure, yeah.
Day in and out. So you're like, whoa. There's stories you can talk to your friend. I have friends that are chimney contractors, and just I'll be like, you won't believe what I saw, or you know what I mean. And then they'll be like, oh, I actually have found things that were FUBAR, and told a chimney contractor, and he's like, oh, I inspected that 10 years before, and they didn't change it. So I've seen things that are like, I would think a contractor should go to jail for just the willful neglect or doing stuff.
Because they're safety hazards.
Yeah. And then just stuff that are mistaken and missed, So I've seen the broad spectrum. But what I wanted to say about that was, you'll see even in new construction, really, like people, even in really nice.
I know, I've seen it.
Homes, like $80 million homes. I just did an $80 million home in West Hollywood Hills yesterday.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you could get a house for that much. That's a lot,
I know.
Man.
I mean, sometimes, there are some crazy real estate out here.
You're going to share with us who the celebrity was?
I don't know. It was a lawyer that I was dealing with. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not mention him.
No, I'm not. I don't think I didn't sign an NDA, but I don't think they want me to say anything.
Right.
Usually privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we're in LA, right? You meet celebrities, you do stuff for famous people. Yeah,
once in a while you bump into people.
Exactly.
I did an inspection for the guy from Animal House.
Which one?
The clean cut guy who's head of
those the fraternity.
Yeah.
I know the actor.
The black hair.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, I know exactly.
But he was totally.
He's
cool.
like suave, wears nice suits.
Yeah, he was the one getting all the girls.
Yeah, getting all the girls. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
What the hell is his movie name? I'm trying to think of his character's name.
Oh, the charter name. Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna look it up. I'll get back to that. Yeah. I'm gonna look it up. But anyway, he was really cool. I showed up and he was just like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's buying a bunch of little houses in this little hillside.
Oh, that's cool.
And he had already lived there, so he was just buying some stuff. But yeah, I don't see a lot of celebrities.
Okay.
I just see a lot of rich people.
That's true. There's a lot of rich people in Los Angeles.
They're always standing on their wallets when they talk to me.
Yeah. It's
It's all good. It's all good. But like going back to what I just mentioned, it's like what goes through your head when you're looking at the stuff. Sometimes I see the most obvious mistakes that somebody actually tried to get paid for it. Yeah. And I'm just like, I get mad for my client.
Yeah,
I actually feel myself getting angry, and it's like, really? Did you really need to do this? I mean, I'm going to show you some pictures of stuff. I got some stuff to show you.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. And
I'll show you some of that stuff too.
And I know you're going to point out some of the things you find inside the chimneys.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to stay on track here a little bit.
Yeah,
and the reason for that is, so as of right now, I did not know that you could do chimney inspections without being without being a licensed chimney specialist.
Yeah, you can do that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No one's ever mentioned that to me before.
Oh, okay.
I was always told, get a qualified licensed chimney specialist. Every home inspector has that in his report.
Yeah, they don't have a license. They have some like national certifications, like
right,
this chimney sweeps
right.
of this one is a certified, like an organization that certifies chimney sweeps.
Okay,
that can also do inspections.
Right. But it's not required for you to do your job. Like you can be knowledgeable about chimneys. You don't need that certification.
Exactly. Yeah,
you can just go do it.
You could work at a building chimneys and then start doing. I mean, it would be a good idea to learn how to do chimney inspections because you go.
Well, I'm not saying not knowing what you're doing. I'm just saying.
Like
I'm just saying you don't need the certification.
Just
you don't. I don't need his CREA certification.
No, you don't. You don't need it, but you need if you don't learn how to do inspections, you're going to be not a good inspector.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But you don't need it. So
right, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
It's not a requirement.
No,
it's not a requirement. Just like I'm not required to have a certification. But if getting the certification, going through the process helps me get better, then I'm all for it.
Exactly.
So that's
usually it does because they're teach you stuff about
right. So
inspections.
Now, when it comes to inspecting a chimney as a home inspector, I don't touch them.
Yeah.
I disclaim them from the beginning. The very first phone call I get from a customer, I do not do chimneys. You need a person who specializes in that. Why, they ask? How come you don't do chimneys? Well, I've hired other inspectors before and they did my chimney. Yeah, but at the end of that chimney inspection what'd they do? They told you to get someone else to look inside the chimney, correct?
That's right, yeah. You don't do
level 2s.
Level 2, that's
right.
Yeah.
So let's discuss what the difference between a level 1, level 2, and a level 3 is.
Sure.
So a level 1, you can just explain it if you know it off the top of your head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go verbatim what it's, but they're set out in the National Fire Protection Association sets out what these are, but a level 1 is basically doing a visual inspection of readily accessible areas of the fireplace and chimney. Right. So it's stuff that, like, if you're on the roof, you would just look at what the condition of the chimney on the roof is. You would also look in the fireplace. Their firebox is what they call it.
Sure.
What we call it. This stuff you can see with your flashlight.
Right.
Very accessible thing. So that's what a level 1 is. But the National Fire Protection Association, they set out standards of building construction. A lot of code is based off of their standards. It's an organization that sets out construction standards for fire safety. It could be like sprinklers, chimneys, building materials for construction. It all has to do with fire safety.
Right.
Sorry, I forgot what was I going to say. They have they recommend. Oh yeah, you kind of brought that up before to me. There isn't a requirement to do a level 2 chimney inspection, but this organization says to do it.
Okay.
Anytime a home is sold. So most actually real estate agents and don't know that, and some recommend a level 2, and
only those who know.
Yeah, or those who know, or right. I don't know which ones do or don't, but not a lot of, they don't think it's recommended or any organization says to do it.
Right.
So I do try to let them know that it's so that they do that, because I mean, if there is a organization that is for fire safety says to do it and you're not recommended, I think it's a good idea to recommend it to your client if you're a real estate agent. But basically a level 2 inspection, it's right here in the book. There's the levels right here. But
let me read it real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So
I could tell you what they are, but
okay.
A level 2 is the same thing as level 1, but you also are looking at not so readily available areas like in the attic, the chimney in the attic. You're looking under the house at the foundation.
Hang on, let me stop you right there. Sure. You are the only chimney inspector I've ever seen check in a crawl space at the base of a chimney.
Yeah.
I've
heard that from other, like there are a lot of them say, well,
Right.
why are you going on there? I'm like, cause I'm checking the foundation. They're like, oh, I've never seen I've heard that before. Yeah.
Right. So I got my robot under the house, and I come up to the chimney, my crawl
Yeah,
bot.
that's great.
I come up to the chimney. I just get a visual of it for a second. Sure, it needs repointing. The motor's
exactly.
It's like, I'm talking about probably a 1920s house.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm like, oh yeah, the chimney guy's upstairs. That's right. So he'll probably come down here and look. I finish up what I'm doing. I come upstairs. He's already gone. He never even went on there.
Really?
And
Wow.
I'm like, how are you checking a damn chimney?
Yeah.
Without even looking at the base of it.
Yeah. That's unusual. That's not correct.
That's
a level 2. That's
not correct.
That's not correct. It's supposed to be a level 2. You're supposed to check those things out.
Yeah.
So I know.
So hang on.
Oh yeah. Finish what a level 2 is. Yeah.
So level 2 is when you're checking the attic area of the chimney, like you said.
Yeah.
The attic area and the crawl space area, if accessible.
Exactly. So it's accessible areas if you can get down there.
Right.
And it includes a video inspection of the interior of the chimney, which no home inspector really has that equipment to do that.
So yeah, let's talk about your tools you require. So the level 1, all I need is a flashlight, right? And a brain.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So level 2, I need what? A sewer scope? What do you use?
It's similar to a sewer scope. It's a it has a rod system, and then you mount a camera to the top of it with a light system on it, and it videos where you can take pictures of flaws or defects.
You
or
have
damage.
to like turn it to get each side, or is it take a picture like a three?
You turn it. I mean, there are different systems. They've evolved, but I've been doing it a while. I like my system, so I like to be able to just turn it myself and see. Because they have ones that automatically do it. And then anyway, there's different systems, but you're supposed to turn it and look at all the surfaces.
Right.
And then they have you get a smaller camera for the gas vents, because the gas vents are metal vents that are a lot smaller than masonry flues or prefabricated metal flues for wood burning fireplaces.
Now, what would a camera like that cost, that whole system to do that?
Well, the one that I know and that is used, I think it's the biggest company. It's around like 4,500, 5,000, I think, with the camera. Yeah, everything.
Oh, that's a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I really want to talk about this, because this whole thing that home inspectors do chimneys, to me is just wrong. I think that's a misconception. I'm really against it. Yeah, I'm really against it. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're telling your customers that, oh yeah, I'm going to do your chimney too, and then you tell them, they say, oh, how's the chimney? Well, it looks good on the outside, but I can't see on the inside. I mean, if I was a consumer,
there's some home inspectors that will say that or something, or
no.
Okay.
Let me finish. Yeah, let me finish my point. Yeah. So what I'm getting at is, if someone calls me for home inspection and they say, "Oh, do you do chimneys?" Let's say I do chimneys for a second. Yeah, I'm gonna do your chimney according to the standards of practice that I follow
of the
CREA,
CREA,
of CREA. So now let me tell you what that is. So the CREA standards is items to be inspected: the chimney exterior, that's a no-brainer. The spark arrestor, whether there is one or not.
Mm-hmm.
The firebox, which is the actual fireplace opening.
Yeah.
The damper, which is right above the firebox.
Mm-hmm.
The hearth extension, is it in contact with wood? Is it all made out of wood?
Yeah.
So we're looking for that. But here's the good point right here. This is what I want you to grasp onto here. The inspector is not required to inspect the chimney interiors.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is where the problems are.
Yeah.
Inspect fireplace inserts, seals, or gaskets,
mm-hmm.
which could be a problem, right?
Yeah.
Fire hazard, right?
But if they're not, yeah, exactly.
And then we're not required to operate the fireplace or determine if a fireplace can be safely used.
I got
So what is the point of a home inspector even having this on his list of things to do? That to me is just silly. I don't get
you mean
it.
even doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, the only thing I could see is that maybe they'll see something and recommend a chimney inspector from looking at those things.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. Why have us look at it, say that we're going to look at a chimney if we can't look at it properly?
Oh, properly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, because you're supposed to get a level 2, and maybe realtors have the misconception that you're looking at it. So I think it's just something that realtors need to be, or real estate agents need to be
Right.
educated on, that home inspectors, they're not there to do it for.
That's as far as we take
that
it.
that they need to do a level 2, and the level 2 is with the chimney inspector.
And that's my point today.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's like, it's like, if I compare doing a chimney inspection to an HVAC inspection, okay,
Yeah.
I can really give my customer a really good evaluation of the condition of that HVAC system because I can reach it.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
access it. 99% of the time, I can get to the ducting. Sometimes I can't see the ducting. But overall, I can let them know, you know what, this system's working good. The temperature splits are good. The ducts have been upgraded. The system's only about 7 years old, or maybe the system's 40 years old. I have a lot of information I can tell them that can really help them. So that's the difference between that in comparison to me doing a chimney inspection. Oh, wow, yeah, you have a chimney. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow, it looks like there's a log in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, there's a gas valve in there. Oh,
Yeah, you can't even turn it on. Yeah, right. So yeah,
It's just, I just don't agree with this part of the CREA standards.
got it.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. So there's a few other inspectors I know out there who are like me, who won't even touch them, and they disclaim it from the very beginning.
Gotcha.
I don't want nothing to do with them because I can't do the job that needs to be done.
I totally understand what you're saying. I have that same feeling. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I've done an inspection where I'm like, I can't even access most of this thing. I feel like, I mean, I'll write a report, but I'm like, you know what? I actually don't know a lot about, I'll disclose it in a report if I can't see vent stuff and, you know what I mean? So I feel like, I know what you're talking about is what I'm trying to say, is that, like, I really can't give you a very strong evaluation with the access I have, you know, so I understand what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why it's even considered. It's
Yeah.
kind of strange.